Hey there, I'm Tutmo. Thanks for tuning in. Platforming games like Super Meat Boy and Celeste are among my top favorites. They perfectly combine speed with skill. However, one thing that most platforming games seem to have in common is that they only have the player go through the level one time. While that's often no small task, there's rarely any consequence for recklessly smashing through a level. As long as you make it to your destination, you win. This got me thinking, what if the player had to get a whole team through the level? And what if that level was completely destructible? Well, let's see what we can make. Like most platformers, our player should jump from platform to platform to avoid holes. If they can make it to the other side without falling, the baton is passed to the next team member. With very little thought, I landed on having a team of 3. If the player can get all 3 across, they proceed to the next level. And to make our levels destructive, we can set up our platforms to drop once they're stepped on. This ultimately changes how the player will navigate through the same level on their next run. The first thing we need to do in Unity is get a basic shape to move left, right, and jump. There we go. Alright, now that we have an acceptable jump, let's shift our focus over to these platforms. The first thing I want to do is make them drop. For this, we'll hop into some code and whip up something simple to help detect when our player is standing on a platform. Basically, I just set up a countdown timer to start on any given platform immediately after our player steps on it. I mean, technically it's not wrong. Okay, I finally got this thing to work. Next, I need to figure out what happens when our player makes it to the very end of our level. So, I added this lame excuse for a teleporter at the very end. I might spruce it up later, but this works for now. I also added multi-jumping. After adding multi-jumps, I focused on what happens if the player falls. I prefer how games like Celeste and Super Meat Boy handle death. There's no break in the game's momentum. The level just instantly resets and you try again. Basically, I built a poor man's version of that. If you fall, everything resets. Oh, and I also added our other 2 team members to complete our 3-person team. If any one of them dies, the level is instantly reset. I also added a few more colors and ambient lighting. Finally, I used Unity's particle system to give our player's death a bit more juice. It's not perfect, but I'm liking how this is feeling so far. Now, before jumping into creating more levels, I first want to knock out a title screen and pause menu. So yeah, it's not the prettiest title menu, but it serves a purpose. From here, you can basically play the game or exit. Now, you may have asked yourself what these weird little things were around our players. Originally, I was going to design little shirts, but then my wife said they would look pretty cute as tiny scarves. So I made these floaty cloth looking things. I also added the option to run faster, partly to speed things up, but mostly just because it's fun to watch the scarves flap around. Anyways, everything is starting to feel pretty good. The final steps are to build out a few more levels and create a couple more platform types. Since jumping is the main mechanic in this game, I think a few platform variations like moving up and down and left and right would really help add some fun challenge to the game. Yep, there they are, moving platforms in their natural habitat. Alright, I won't show the rest of the levels in case anyone wants to be surprised when they play through on their own. This decision was for the player, and definitely not because the levels aren't ready yet. Now for the music, I wanted to create something ambient and relaxing. This is a relatively stressful game, so we might as well do everything we can to help keep the player calm. I'm a huge fan of Lena Ray's work in Celeste, so I used a few soft pianos and played with filtering to create a simple melody. It's nothing near the level of awesome in Celeste, but adds a somewhat calming element to a fairly stressful game. For sound effects, I tried to highlight important events like jumping and platform falls for the player. Again, nothing here is up for Game Audio of the Year, but it gets the job done. You can find a link down below to get this game free on itch.io. If you do give it a try, let me know what you think. I appreciate any feedback, but even just knowing one person played the game is an awesome feeling for a newbie game developer. If you like this video, please drop a gentle tap on the like button below. The plan is to release a new game every other week, so definitely subscribe if you want to stay updated. Alright, until next time, you take care of yourself. Bye.